Radical.
The past couple years hasn't been that kind to the Xbox brand. It seems like there's worse and worse and worse news, and they're falling farther and farther behind their competitors, Nintendo and Sony, in sales figures all across the board. Consumer confidence, any metric you can measure, Xbox last couple years has been in the shitter. Regardless of what they like to say, and somebody, I think it was Red Stratus, somebody brought up a good point when I mentioned that they had a good bit of news, the ROG Ally being sold out. He said probably they just had a limited stock, so then they could actually limit it and say it was sold out, even though they didn't talk about actually how many was sold. I think it was Red Stratus, so I'll give a shout out there for actually mentioning that. So the brand has not been doing that well. But here's some good news. They decided to reverse course, baby, and go in the opposite direction. All right? One thing they were doing that a lot of people didn't like, especially if you don't have an Xbox system, is you're thinking about getting a Series S or X, is they raised the prices. Not one time, two times this year they raised prices on their systems. But, as you can see here, they've decided to lower the prices. They have dropped it to astronomically low levels. They must have saw the criticism and said, you know what? We're making supposedly $5 billion in revenue on Game Pass. We're making a lot of money as a company, so let's actually just appreciate the fans we got. Say basically we're sorry. The biggest way we can say we're sorry is to lower prices. I'm talking about bare bottom basement prices on their systems. The Series S, as you can see in the picture here, only $179. This Series X, only $279. A couple years back, I got the Series X for $350. Shout out to people that actually told me in the comment section to get one, and I definitely did. But now it's even... Oh, wait a second. Clearance. Microsoft didn't lower the prices. By the time you're listening to this, hell, they might have another increase. Xbox consoles might be $1,000. I mean, that's not crazy because the ROG Ally X is, but the Series X might be $1,000 by the time I finish recording this. Who the hell knows? This is reality. Hello, Microsoft. This is reality for your brand, for your system. It is being cleared out of places, meaning they don't want this overpriced shit in their stores. They're getting rid of it some places. Costco got rid of it. This is Sam's Club, which is really close to Walmart. Very close to Walmart here. I mean, Costco's one thing, but Sam's Club? You only have so many of these places that are selling these systems. You know, you have like Target, Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco. There's another one I'm forgetting, Best Buy. I believe I didn't check Best Buy to see how much their systems are at Best Buy. But this is reality. You should see this if you're Microsoft and see where everything's at. These places like Sam's Club, we're not selling the Xbox systems compared to the Switch and the PlayStation. They weren't selling them at a fast enough rate. You're already low man on the totem pole when it comes to all the console competitions in the sales. So it's insane for you to actually raise your prices on a console that is far pacing behind the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation. So this is reality. What happens? They got to get rid of these systems. They don't want to carry them anymore. There's supply and demand. That's the basis of any business. Any business. All right? That would be like me. I sell music CDs on the weekend. Me overstocking on Celine Dion, who is a talented singer. But let's be honest here. Nobody's clawing and scratching to get any Celine Dion CDs. This would be the reference. I'm calling the Xbox a Celine Dion CD. Maybe that's being a little bit harsh, right? But it's just an example. If I had Celine Dion priced at $10 a CD, you think I'd sell any? If I raised the price to $20 a CD, I damn wouldn't sell any. I'd have to clear that shit out because people would be like, what the fuck's wrong with you? That's what a lot of people were saying in Microsoft. What the fuck is wrong with you? $700 Series X's? $800 Series X's, the Galaxy Black Edition? What the fuck is wrong with you, Microsoft? So, this is the reality of what's happening. You see the clearance signs. And there's another sign, I think it was for a little bit higher, it might have been before. It was I think 289 for the Series S. But this is the one where it's been the lowest I see here. Now, if you're Microsoft, you should be deathly afraid when you see this. Because you were probably thinking, okay, we'll raise the price. You're sitting there thinking, we'll raise the price. We still got Game Pass, which is really popular, but not as much now because the page actually crashed. The page actually crashed when people were getting rid of their Game Pass. So, historically, and I know it's not always a path of the future by looking at history, but sometimes it is. Historically, people look at brands when it comes to buying things. If you have a brand like PlayStation, which is a strong brand, and a brand like Nintendo, which is a strong brand, you look at those two brands and you want to support those brands. You buy the systems and the games and the accessories for those brands because those are strong brands. You know they're going to be around. Sometimes it's just appearances. If you walk by a display at a Target, or you walk by a section at any retailer store, or a Walmart, for instance, and you no longer see anything Xbox on display. There's no longer a system where you can actually try it out. There's no longer any, well, we know, physical media for Xbox because of Game Pass. They've cannibalized all their physical sales. Ah, shit. It reminds me of another upload I really got to squeeze in at some point. There's so much fucking bad Xbox news. If you have this happen, where people and their families and their kids start going by, the Christmas season is coming up. If you go by these displays and Xbox is not represented at all, then that's a problem. I saw one YouTube video where they videotaped actually the Xbox double case at a Walmart. Two glass cases open up and everything. The double cases mostly were filled with Nintendo Switch physical games. I'm not lying. They're either, and all the Xbox stuff, guess where it was? It was at the very bottom. It wasn't even fucking displayed. That's how bad things are. You start the Game Pass, and that's popular, right? But you think it's just going to be Game Pass, and you're going to get rid of physical, traditional game sales. Well, what happens when people go to places and there's no representation, right? It's all about representation. And you raise the prices on the systems, then you raise the prices on Game Pass, then it's a way of actually pissing off the few people that are still diehard Xbox fans you see.